The campus of Drury University at the O'Reilly Family Event Center. We've had some great games already today, and we're going to continue with girls 18U Division I 5A gold ball game with the West Michigan Hornets taking on the Fort Bend Eagles. Scott Staten alongside Thomas Sanders, and starting off, it's going to be Paul Gilmore down there. We'll have Jeremy Caldwell in there soon, but just saw a really good game, good team rather, Chisholm, march on as they won a gold ball. These two girls are going to play now for the 5A gold ball, and as the smallest class, will have an opportunity to not just win a gold ball, but move into the Final Four and try to get an undisputed. So you guys have been out there. You've played on this court, at least this level of court. What are these going through these girls' minds right now as they're getting ready to play for a gold ball?
Look, I think it's nerves. You're stepping on the court for the first time at this stage, right? And, you know, when you're playing high school basketball, a lot of these games you're playing in are smaller, you know, school gyms. Here, you're in an arena, so even the depth perception on backboards is different. Yeah. It's a totally different feel. And then the stage, the final, you know, national championship, playing for it, big-time game, big-time pressure.
Tip goes to West Michigan. They are in the gray uniforms with the red and black trim. FBCHA in the navy blue uniforms with the white and gold trim. And yeah, we've talked about that, Thomas, a couple times. It's good to hear a player, because you've all played at the college level, talk about how sometimes that depth perception, and it's been because of the way that it's set up with homeschool, that's a lot of empty seats a lot of times behind you. So you got to learn to shoot like in an open gym.
Look, a freshman year at college, we played at Vanderbilt. First time I've been in an arena that size, and all the fans behind me moved the balloons, and I airballed a free throw college game. So, yeah, depth perception speaks to me personally.
Yeah.
It's just different, right? You don't have the wall behind you. The arena's bigger. It's a whole different feel. It takes a little minute to get into this thing.
On the drive for Fort Bend, well, she had an open look, but Ali couldn't get it to go. It's taken away, and quickly the other direction. The Hornets, but the ball's knocked out of bounds, will stay at this end.
So I had an opportunity to watch this FBCHA Eagles team last week. I helped run a clinic down there a couple weeks ago, and was really impressed with number 10, Yasmin Ali, like incredible ball handler.
Yeah.
A lot of I would say establishes the culture for this team, and an excellent leader.
Yep.
I'm interested to see if she can, you know, kind of elevate her game to play with this at this level here.
On the drive, it's two straight misses now for the Hornets. Neither team able to crack into the scoring column. Fort Bend going to try and change that at their end. Ball's tipped away. Battle on the ground, and going to be a jump ball. Possession will stay at that end. We've seen a lot of that already today. I keep teasing that it's kind of a mix between rugby and basketball. The girls are just on the floor in scrums trying to get the ball, and you can tell they want to win this gold ball.
Sometimes it seems like the girls is more physical than the guys.
Yeah. On the inbounds, that was number 24, Pipe Francis, the freshman, and she gets the scoring underway. Her team up 2-0. The other end, West Michigan pushing the pace. Another miss, though, 0 for 3, but that has changed quickly. 3-point shot by Jaden Rodimer. Rodimer getting the first points and the first lead for West Michigan.
And they are not afraid to shoot those deep threes. West Michigan is a team that is not afraid to bomb that from deep, and Rodimer will do it with the defense right in front of her.
Ali with the ball. Watch this West Michigan team. They're very deep, play some tough defense, make it difficult to get open shots inside. Once again, ball knocked away by Cochran.
Yeah, watch West Michigan on the help side defense. There's a thing a lot of coaches teach: strong side deny. So what you'll see when you see a left-handed ball hunter drive, they will not leave that corner shooter. West Michigan's starting to pull off a little bit. It makes me think they may have scouted this team, saying we may have non-shooters in the corner. Mm-hmm. But watch how packed the lane is with West Michigan right now. There's nothing in the paint right now. If they can hold on, the question is going to be, can Fort Bend open this thing up with baseline threes? Watch how they're sinking off, and they're just going to pack the lane on them. See, there's 3 defenders. It's going to be difficult to get anything in the paint right now.
Yeah, crazy shot put up that time by Francis. Can't get it to go, even though she connected earlier. Here comes West Michigan. Over in the right corner. 3. And that's too strong. Missed everything. Rebound came down to Leach. Here comes Fort Bend the other way. Oh, nice pass across the lane and put in by Papillon. her first 2 of the game. And it is now 4-3, Fort Bend in the lead.
And Fort Bend's going to have to take advantage of those kind of opportunities where it's not a half-court set. If they can get some transition buckets, that's going to help their offense out a lot.
Rodimer for 3. She's hit 1, but not that time. And on the rebound fight, it will stay down this end with the tie-up. Fort Bend made it here with a win over the Dallas Thunder in the semis yesterday, 50-31. It was a little surprising as easy as it seemed like they had to be able to move on there, but today really facing a tough West Michigan team. There at the top with the three-pointer is Ashley Ayers. That's the second 3 of the game, both buckets right now from distance for West Michigan. Fort Bend bringing it up. Gonna try to crack this code. Soraya Webb, just a really good ball handler as well as Ali. So they have the guards to be able to work against a tough defense, but so far it's been tough for them to get into a flow. We got a substitution. We talked about them being deep. Here comes Molly Hunt. Hunt with a big game yesterday in the Hornets' 54-13 win in the semis over Aspire, Oklahoma. Papillon with the ball, back to Ali.
Just not going to let it go at the rim. I've not seen them enough this tournament to know, is this kind of their MO or is this early in the game? If they can maintain this level of pressure all game long, it's going to be a long night for Fort Bend. But as Paul mentioned, if they can get out in transition and open that court up a little bit, I think they're going to find some easy buckets. But this half-court offense is going to be, it's a pretty stifling defense right now.
Oh, nice kiss off the glass, Leskowski. 8-4 now. West Michigan, and yeah, I think, Thomas, if you asked Aspire yesterday, they were only able to put up 13 points. If that defense is just, it's crazy, and really all 10 girls play that way. Really well coached. They keep the intensity up the entire game, and right now, making life difficult.
So Fort Bend's knowing this, Fort Bend's going to have to adjust. They're going to have to get in the paint with their ball handlers and then kick out. You're not going to be able to just push things on the perimeter. You're going to have to get an individual breakdown, get into the paint, kick it out, and make the defense start shifting a little bit. If they can't get them to shift, they're not going to be able to get easy shots. So I don't know. I think Coach Leach going to have to look at that in the second quarter.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Aubrey Ayers got the steal there, and she got the ball knocked out of bounds. She was fouled, so they'll bring it in underneath. There's Ayers out top. Oh, her pass over the head of Hunt, and that's a turnover with 3:38 to go here in the first. This girls 18U Division I 5A gold ball game. West Michigan, their goal is to our right, and Fort Bend trying to score down to our left, and there's another steal on the inbounds. Ashley Ayers up the other way, and her shot knocked away, but they come away with another opportunity, and they're going to back it out now, reset things. Jaden Rodimer. Here's Molly Hunt. Over in the corner. Nice ball movement on the drive. Oh, beautiful block by Ali and off the hands of Aubrey Ayers. Good defense there.
And West Michigan is one of the top teams in this tournament. As a matter of fact, if it wasn't for San Marcos being the defending champion and bringing back most of their squad, I think West Michigan might have gotten the 1 seed. So certainly an underdog kind of situation for Fort Bend. And Thomas, I don't know if you've been an underdog before. I remember you going into Kentucky at Rupp Arena. No offense to you, Scott Staten.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say that.
So you know what it's like to be an underdog, though?
I do know what it feels to be an underdog. Most of my college career, we were underdogs. I think I view it as a challenge. I think these girls do the same. It's kind of like one thing it does is either it pulls you together or it'll break you apart. Because if you cannot come together in a hostile arena against an overpowering opponent, it's going to draw you or it's going to splinter you. And so you hope when you watch the underdog games early, it's 8-4, that they pull together and make this thing a good ball game. And when this thing gets third, fourth quarter, anything can happen. And we won some big underdog games, and then when sometimes we were the better team and we lost. I've been on both sides of that.
Sure.
And you can watch how the competition just kind of pushes that out of athletes.
Not always the best team that's going to come away with the victory in these games, and that's why it's so important that you get a good start here. Another miss.
Yeah, I was talking with Scott. It's just kind of like anything can happen. Basketball can be situational. You get hot at the right time. Mm-hmm. You find matchups are tricky. So in 40-minute, 32-minute games, a lot can happen that doesn't always predict it how you think it's going to go.
Hunt missed the shot. Wyman got it. Her putback was short, but then Shea Vanderway on the opposite side able to get the putback, and it is 10-4 now.
So Fort Bend needs to work this they need to work this possession. You don't want this to get out of hand.
3 no good. Rebound, only one opportunity. They're not giving up second chances. Here's the Hornets on the attack. Ball tipped away, and there's a steal. Good turnover caused by Fort Bend there.
So here's a beautiful opportunity for Fort Bend. Got the ball in transition. The defense is not set.
Thought about that 3. Now they're going to work it around the perimeter. Ali trying to set up on the block, but guarded by the much bigger Vanderway. She decides to leave that post. And then on the pass, ball looked like, I think they might have called a foul, or they just call it out of bounds. We got substitutions for Fort Bend. Into the game, number 5, Kayla Barlow. And also into the game, Christina Webb. Fort Bend going to inbound it under their bucket. Here's Ali, the spin move, off the glass, pretty shot.
Really nice move by Yasmin Ali. Fake right, spun back left, kiss off the glass, big time play.
And Thomas, you were talking about opportunities for her in the paint. I don't imagine she'll have a lot of those, so she certainly needs to take advantage when she can.
Yeah, and that was big. So right there, what she had was it was off the inbounds play, so there was no help. And right now, it's not that she can't break her defender down one-on-one. I've watched her. She's good enough with the ball. She's good enough one-on-one. The challenge she's going to have is the way that West Michigan's playing defense. They're packing the paint so much that that's not even going to be there if they let that defense get set. That's why your comment earlier about transition is going to be huge for them. Transition and paint touches, I think, have got to be a focus just in the early portion of this game, watching the pressure and the way they're packing. They're going to make them shoot over the top.
Laskowski back in, the All-American, All-Regional player for West Michigan. West Michigan yesterday, they almost couldn't miss from outside, but they have really struggled so far hitting those jump shots in this first quarter. We'll see if that continues. Here comes the Eagles. Less than a minute to go, trailing by 4. Oh, I don't know how Ali got that in the paint. She was surrounded by 4 Hornets, and they all got their hand on it. It's a jump ball, but because of possession, it will stay down at this end. 45 seconds to go. They keep hanging around.
Bucket here would be huge.
Oh, nice pass. She had a point-blank shot, but Pipe Francis could not get it to go. 39 seconds to go here. Had an open look there, missed opportunity. Hunt to Laskowski. Cross-court dangerous pass, tipped away and stolen once again. That time it was Christina Webb. And then to try the attempt to try to get it back, the Hornets pick up a foul of their own. It'll be Fort Bend's ball with 24 seconds to go. They trail it by 4, 10-6.
So Fort Bend should hold for the last shot here. I think it's in their favor they can keep this game low scoring. And I would not be rushing this thing down. Try to get into the paint. Let's get an easy touch, see what we get.
She took it all the way. Kind of a wild shot. Doesn't go. Less than 10 seconds. Here comes Laskowski. The Hornets on the fast break. Ball knocked out. Good defense there. Once again by Webb.
See, I know it's an up-tempo game, a lot of pressure, but as a coach, you don't want to see that. Now you've given West Michigan, who's up 10-6, one shot at the rim, and now they're about to get a second one.
Oh, a nice pass. The bounce pass to the cutting Wyman. She puts it in, and that's how this quarter will end. It's 12-6. The West Michigan Hornets in this girls 18U Division I 5A gold ball game. They lead the Fort Bend Eagles. Back with the second quarter after this break.
When my body needs relief, I real-time it. I'd like to introduce you to my knockout pain formula, real-time pain relief. Its soothing lotion is rich in nature's ingredients and helps me manage discomfort day or night. And it smells great too. From muscle strains to soreness to simple back aches and arthritis. Real-time it and knock out your pain. It works for me and it will work for you. Real-time pain relief, it's a knockout.
Welcome back. Second quarter action here. Girls 18U Division I 5A gold ball game. It's been the West Michigan Hornets with a 12-6 lead as they open up this second period. Scott Staten, Thomas Sanders, and now Jeremy Caldwell. I noticed that Paul basically got on here just long enough to make sure that I was reminded about how Thomas's Gardner-Webb team beat Kentucky. And we're friends still. We're all good. But it was a good, fun time there. And as we talked a little bit about, you never know in these games. Definitely coming in, West Michigan would probably on paper be the favor. And there was a nice block by Fort Bend, Juliana Leach. But they have hung around, and it's just a 12-6 game. A lot of turnovers, though, on both sides.
Yeah, that was a great pass down the court by Soraya Webb, but Charlotte Papillon is unable to corral the pass there. That probably could have got an easy bucket if she would have.
Another putback. We've seen Vanderway. She did that once in the first quarter. Able to do that there in the second. Some kind of crazy shots on both sides. They're driving. It looks like, Thomas, they maybe find a lane, but then rather than pull it out or find an opening, they just try to throw up something crazy.
Yeah, Fort Bend's going to have to slow this thing down. Excellent move. And they're going to have to get it. There you go. That's what they're looking for.
Yep.
And it's getting in the paint and then seeing what happens there. But right now there's pressure so much. Passing around the perimeter is not going to break this defense down. West Michigan's discipline. There's a drill called shell drill that a lot of coaches teach.
Yeah.
It looks like they spend a lot of time doing this. Rotations are strong,
Yep.
and they're giving up. It looks like they'll take the outside shot. They're not going to let Fort Bend get in the lane.
Yeah.
Papillon that time gathered in the miss from her teammate Ali, and on the foul is able to get a three-point attempt. That free throw is no good. Battle for the board, and Fort Bend comes away with it at all. They throw it through the hands there of Pipe Francis, and that spawns a break for the Hornets from the corner. Three. That one is no good. Cochran with the ball. Starting to see some really good defense, too, from Fort Bend. They're really
their
getting
effort,
in the face.
No kidding, their effort is high, and their defense has been solid. They're just right now, the help side is a little bit lacking, but, man, they're pushing, they're scrapping, they're on the floor. You cannot knock their effort.
Oh, great save. Back in bounds by 25, Dovie Cochran. And on the shot, Ayers, I don't know how she put that in. It's like she floated, and with the one hand, able to sink it and put herself at the free throw line for a chance at three.
Look, it was a little Michael Jordan-esque, right? Starts with the left, takes the hit in the face, finishes on the right, kiss off the glass.
We got to get slow-mo. We got to be able to see this stuff again.
Beautiful finish.
Yeah, the one of the main setbacks that Fort Bend is having here is they missed a free throw is the Fort Bend Lady Eagles are not able to corral a lot of these passes.
Yeah.
They're having good looks, and they're finding the guards. Soraya Webb is finding their good players when they're open. They just haven't been able to corral the pass, and they've bobbled a lot or dropped them out of bounds, and it's starting to cost them a little bit here.
Because of the lane violation, they got a second chance, and she made them pay. Ayers sinks the free throw. Lead is now 17-8. We got a kick ball. Got to stay down at this end.
So the one thing that's interesting West Michigan is also doing on defense as you watch, all ball screens on the perimeter are being switched.
Yes.
And so and watch right now. So that's one reason it's so crowded. The disadvantage the defensive team has on that is you may find mismatches, but look across this lineup right now. Most of these girls are similar size, and so they're comfortable with these ball screen switches, which makes it very, very difficult to break down.
On the fast break, Dovie Cochran stops and pops in the two, and that's her first points of the game. And we're going to have a break here at 5:54. It's now the lead, 19-8. West Michigan out in front. Back with more second quarter action after this. Welcome back. We are partway through this second quarter, and it's been the West Michigan Hornets grabbing the lead here 19-8 over the Fort Bend Eagles.
Yeah, they've continued their ferocious defense. Yesterday they played the Aspire Trailblazers out of Oklahoma and only gave up 13 points during that whole game. Only had given up 5 by the half. So here it's 19-8. Fort Bend has had plenty of opportunities. They just haven't been able to connect and corral the balls. It's been the main issue today.
Another tussle on the floor, jump ball. It will go the other way. Laskowski kind of put up a wild shot there. You'd like to have seen her kind of back that out or look across the court and find one of her teammates, but uncharacteristic turnover. At the other end, Papillon had a good look. She's got a good jump shot, but unable to connect that time.
You know, it feels like if you're down in this situation, 19-8, it feels like a bigger gap than it really is because you haven't put that many points on the board. The advantage of a low-scoring game is, you know, you hit a three-pointer here, and this is, you know, you're right back in this thing pretty quick. So Fort Bend just needs to tap the brakes. They're in a fine spot right now. Guard one possession at a time.
That's going to be a travel up and down. But once again, they're on the offensive possession for Fort Bend. Another tip pass and not able to come up with the ball. So, you know, West Michigan, for one, is out-hustling Fort Bend to all the loose balls. They're out-hustling them on defense. They're switching to all screens like you had mentioned, and Fort Bend is having to work so hard for every possession that they have and every point that they possibly get. Another bobble pass. If she don't bobble that pass, she's probably wide open three.
Yeah, they've been right on the verge of having a couple of good plays, but seems like the ball's got butter on it.
And Juliana Leach is a deadly three-point shooter, but when you bobble the pass, it allows the defense to have time to get it out there and wasn't able to get the shot off. Good spin move.
There's Wyman. Her spin won't go. But Ayers ends up with it. And Laskowski will reset. To her right is Rodimer. Ayers going to line one up. Off the front rim, backboard. Back down to Wyman. Wyman puts it up again. She draws the contact. Wyman's been really active down low. Been able to give her team a couple of second chance opportunities, but up until now unable to score other than early on. She had one bucket, and now she'll have a chance for 2 more free throws.
That foul's on Soraya Webb. And if you're Fort Bend here, you're probably asking the refs, how are they allowed to have 7 girls on the court? Because that's what it feels like defensively for Fort Bend. Because, I mean, anytime you think somebody's open, within a half second, there's 2 girls on the ball, and you don't know where they came from.
Yeah, so far, to me, the story of this game right now is Western Michigan's defense. It's pretty stifling right now.
Yes.
And I think that Fort Bend's going to have to kind of unpack this because they're not going to be happy with 8 points 12 minutes in this game right now. These girls can play, but they're going to have to get some shots they can actually hit.
Yeah, they're going to have to make some adjustments, definitely. We still have 4 minutes, a little under 4 minutes here in the second quarter, but, you know, in these tournaments here, it's always what kind of adjustments do you make at halftime.
Not a bad look there, but that 3 by the lefty, Patton.
And Soraya Webb is a really good point guard. She also plays 16U, so she's a young player. Her and Yasmin Ali both play 16U. So they're going to be around for a while. But they just can't seem to get it together here in this game.
Molly Hunt forces the action there, puts herself at the free throw line.
And that foul is going to be on Piper Francis. If you look on the score sheet, I forgot the R when I printed it out, so her name is actually Piper Francis.
Yeah, I called her Pipe in the first half. Molly Hunt gets the first.
I apologize for that.
Oh, listen, that happens.
You know, we try our best here at the broadcast table to get pronunciations and spellings and names correct because we know the grandparents and families back home listening and watching, and we appreciate all of you tuning in and watching these great games that we are allowed to call. And thank you all for the opportunity to allow us to call these games.
Absolutely. Thanks for watching. Here's Ali. That's no good, but a rebound. Long rebound over on the right side.
That's a perfect possession for Fort Bend. swung that ball on Tyler out of the perimeter, made the defense move, and then out of it, you get a good shot for a great shooter. And look, now, I mean, you're down 10. So basketball is a funny game, and momentum shifts. So big possession for Fort Bend.
Into the game is Johnny Rodimer for the Hornets. And, yeah, if you don't look at the scoreboard, it's really felt like the Hornets have been in control, but it's still a very attainable task to try to come back for the Eagles. And with 2:30 left, they can put a little run here together to end this first half. You got to like the way they would go into the locker room after the way things started.
Yeah, if you're Coach Leach for the Lady Eagles, what you want to do is try to keep this at 10 or under going into the halftime break.
Hunt's three is short. Rodimer gives them another chance. And once again, they get that second chance and drive it down into the paint and are able to put themselves at the free throw line. This time it is Aubrey Ayers that will be there, trying to get her first points of the day.
I think that foul is on Allie Lee. She just come into the game. And Aubrey Ayers to the free throw line. Try to get her name on the scoreboard.
First one's good. Not able to get too much separation.
So 22-11, West Michigan has the lead, 2:20 to go here in the first half. And it's been a little sloppy.
Ayers sinks both of them.
Still have a 12-point lead. So if you're Fort Bend here, you want to try to have the same possession you had last time. Work the ball, get some movement, get some open shots.
Boy, she was right there. I thought Ali was going to go straight in, and, well, she gets it back.
But see, those are the possessions Fort Bend's wanting. They got two separate girls in the paint. They got a good look and now a pretty good three-point look. So you'll take those shots if you're Coach Leach. I mean, that's a good offensive possession. Ball didn't go down, but you keep getting those shots, you're going to climb back in this game.
Ayers for three. Boy, I like the way she stopped, set her feet, lined it up, and put that one in. And you got to hope, if you are Fort Bend, that is not a sign of things to come, because the shot has not been falling for the most part from outside for the Hornets, but that time able to connect. 1:45 to go. And, guys, we talked a little bit about it already, but if you're West Michigan, you just keep continuing to do what you're doing, even though the shots haven't up to this point been falling, other than some of the drives and get to the free throw line, knowing that at some point you're most likely going to start hitting those.
Yeah, if you're West Michigan, it basically carry on as is. I mean, they're hitting the offensive boards. Their defense is stellar, and you're right. They're getting good shots. You saw one there in transition, which is a big-time shot. But, I mean, they have to feel good about where they're at here most of the way through the second quarter.
Yeah, and if you're West Michigan, Aubrey Ayers went their whole first quarter without scoring, and she finally gets to the free throw line, knocks down both of those. And sometimes if you're a good shooter, Thomas, as you know, once you see one go through, then you feel like you got a hot streak going, and she comes down the very next possession after the two free throws and just stops on a pull-up transition three and knocks it down. So if you're Fort Bend, you don't want to give these girls any type of rhythm and, get them to the free throw line if they haven't been making any shots, because once they start seeing shots go down, this game could get ugly quick, and it could flip on a dime.
It could, and I think, Jeremy, you mentioned it earlier, if you can cut this thing down to 10 at half, that's 5 points. Can Fort Bend cut this thing down, go out 16-26, get some stops, get a couple buckets? You got to feel pretty decent heading into the second half.
Right.
But do not let the bleeding continue.
No, this is an important possession for Fort Bend here, as they need to score to counter that 5-0 run that West Michigan is on. Good dish there.
Yeah, Ali to Webb.
Ali with a beautiful jab cut and a little pocket pass to the short corner. You'd love to have that shot back. But, that's what they need to do on offense.
Just missed opportunities. They've put themselves in position to score several times, but unable to convert up to this point.
I think what you're seeing is West Michigan, this happens with teams. First quarter, that defense looked like a pack line, and then now, second quarter in, you're starting to see little holes form in it. So I still think if you're Fort Bend, you could attack the same way, keep getting to the paint. Those shots will fall.
Johnny Rodimer tried to connect from deep on that.
And then Aubrey Ayers comes flying in, trying to get the rebound, ended up creating a foul. So Fort Bend got to stop. They empty possession for West Michigan. So the ball is going to go back to Fort Bend. And the last couple possessions, they've got good looks, good open looks. They just unable to.
Those are shots they can make. They will make. You'll want those are shots you're looking for as a coach.
Right.
Ali got hung up in the air there, and the defender reached out and swiped the ball away. So the Hornets, now with 35 seconds, they may hold on to this and try to get that last shot. Rodimer with the ball. Killing some clock and looking, and they step out of bounds. So an unforced turnover gives it back to Fort Bend.
You know, high school has no shot clock, and coaches, it would appear that, you know, it's an easy thing just to air the ball out, but so often teams start doing that, and it ends up in a turnover. I was taught, even as a high school player, you play your game, you shoot smart shots, and you just to me, it's a dangerous game when you try to air it out for extended periods of time.
Yep.
Right, and as a former coach, I've never been one to just dribble out the clock because, you know, you got to stay in momentum. So if you got the lead, just keep doing what you're doing because apparently it's been working.
That's it.
I don't understand a lot of times when these coaches try to dribble out a minute and a half, 2 minutes off the clock with a 10-point lead. You know, you got the 10-point lead by doing what you do as an offense and as a team. So just continue doing that, trust in your offense and trust your players on the floor.
Let the game come to you, right? That's it.
Ali missed the three, and before the buzzer goes off, they try to get a shot, but unable to do so. We will end this first half of play here in the girls 18U Division I 5A Gold Ball game with the West Michigan Hornets leading the Fort Bend Eagles 26-11. Back with the second half after a halftime break. Welcome back. Second half action. Girls 18U Division I 5A gold ball. Scott Staten, Thomas Sanders, Jeremy Caldwell. We are at Drury University at the O'Reilly Family Event Center, where the West Michigan Hornets hold a 26-11 lead over the Fort Bend Eagles. Right now it's West Michigan on the attack. They're in the gray uniforms with the red and black trim. Fort Bend Eagles in the navy blue with the gold and white trim. So far it's been the Hornets kind of having their way. They've really had trouble making a whole lot of separation, but right towards the end they connected on some jump shots and able to push that lead out to 15. On the drive, Laskowski adds her 4th point of the game, and a good start for the Hornets.
Most coaches I've played for growing up would say these first 4 minutes of the second half are the most important minutes of the whole game.
Oh, what a great spin move. Yasmin Ali, that's just her 4th point, but they really would like to see her start converting on those. She's been able to get some open looks inside, and that time just created some space.
She's quick. She's a great ball handler, and she can finish at the rim. So if she can get in the paint, good things are going to happen for Fort Bend.
West Michigan backs it out. Rodimer looks at the 3, gets it over to Laskowski. Very patient offense. Ayers to her right.
Very patient offensive set here by West Michigan.
Laskowski that time might have rushed it just a bit. Her shot goes out of bounds and back to the Fort Bend Eagles. 28-13. It was same deficit at halftime, 26-11. They've each scored 1 bucket here. Fort Bend needs to make a run here.
They've each traded the bucket. Fort Bend got a turnover, but then they turn the ball right back over.
Laskowski with the pickpocket takes it all the way in for the 2.
That's 4 quick points for Laskowski.
Yeah, she's putting together a nice game for herself.
3-pointer, that was deep for Soraya Webb, but with the rebound is Piper Francis. But the freshman throws it out of bounds.
You know, Fort Bend, I think Jeremy mentioned this earlier. Their age, they're young. They're a young team.
They are young.
This this is a good game for them to be in. It's going to get a taste of what this feels like, of what a good competition is, and then as they scale up, something to remember and think on, next year, next 2 years. And this team, I think they can still come back in this game, but regardless of what happens, this experience is invaluable for a team like this.
Yeah, and they only have 2 seniors, and both seniors are not part of the 5 starter. So this is a very young team, as we mentioned, sophomores and freshmen, a couple juniors. So if they can stay together.
Look at Yasmin Ali, right to left crossover, finishing. Yeah. It was a left-hand, big-time finish in traffic.
Took it the distance, and that's what another steal. The first half, they were able to get the ball but couldn't do much with it. But right now, they're starting to have a little bit of a spurt. No, that time, though, a throwaway. Looking for Ali in the left corner.
Yeah, on that, Ali started cutting back door, and then she pulled back, and the defender got in front of her, and Soraya saw her cutting and thought she was going to follow through.
Soraya's a great player. She would like to have that possession back. And as a point guard, they teach you to work with your eyes up. And she had Yasmin Ali open early.
Yep.
But by the time she spun out, the defender had come back. The secondary defender was back in place already. And this is so critical for young players. You got to dribble with your head up. And it's hard in traffic. That's why you work the ball. And that's why you develop those skill sets. But look, Fort Bend's battling back here. Like the effort.
Just traded some buckets. And if you're Fort Bend, you gotta feel good about Thomas and Jeremy, that the way that the first half seemed like they had a lot of missed opportunities. A couple times where Ali would get close to the bucket, and they just couldn't turn it into points. But this time they've been able to do that just a little bit, and maybe that'll give them a little bit of a fire underneath them to think that they've got a chance at this one right now, even though they're being doubled up. 30-15, it still feels like they got a chance at this one.
Well, remember, first half, we were talking on there is no easy shots, much less a bucket. Right now, they've picked up 4 in transition that are layups. So, yeah, the confidence has to be rising a little bit because now they're getting easy shots and not having to battle through all that switching screens and the bumping and the hit. And so now it's kind of like, hey, the floor opens up. Yeah, you're down 15, but you've seen a few easy ones go down.
Yeah, when you're in games like this, as you well know, Thomas, when you're down, you just got to play basketball. You can't look up at the scoreboard, worry about what the clock is, worry about what the score is. Just play your basketball, try to get back into a rhythm, and next thing you know, you look up and you might be a one-possession ball game.
One possession at a time. Just get a stop here, get a good shot. Stop, good shot. There it is.
Another tip ball.
So now Fort Bend's back in transition with their best ball handler. Let's see what she's got. There she is in the paint.
Another floater.
So same thing. Fort Bend gets it out in transition with their ball handler. Gets
And
in
a
the lane.
steal
Look at
by
that.
Soraya Webb, and then she draws a foul on Vanderway. So right off of the shot there by Yasmin Ali, Soraya Webb picks off the inbounds play and gets a shot attempt.
So now Fort Bend's got to be feeling new life. Look at this. If she hits these, get this thing back down to 11, 12 points.
First one rattles out by Webb. She'll get one more. As you mentioned, a young team. Webb just a sophomore. Ali just a sophomore. So they've got a bright future. But right now, their future they're focused on is the rest of this game as they want to win a gold ball.
Yeah, and that's a quick 12-point deficit now. As you talked about, one possession at a time. And, you know, they held Ali. She only had 2 points in the first half, and she scored that early on in the first quarter. And then she went scoreless for a while. It looked like she was struggling, but it looks like she's gotten to some type of rhythm as she scored the first 6 points of the quarter here coming out of the half. So looks like Fort Bend has made some good adjustments and offensively, and they've gotten a couple turnovers defensively. So now they just got to start cutting into the lead.
They've trimmed it down to 12 from 15 at the half. Hornets now got to come up with an answer. Boy, Hunt stuck up atop. Great defense by Ali.
Yeah, Fort Bend's defensive pressure has substantially increased the second half. I don't know if that was a strategy Coach Leach talked over at halftime, but look at the way they're pressuring the ball. They're rotating. It looks like a different defensive team right now.
Vanderway, she's been so active down low. She's had a couple of putbacks in the first half, and that time grabbed 2 offensive boards, and she will be at the free throw line.
Yeah, I'm not sure who they called that on. I believe it was 54. Not positive on that. That's Julia Atten. But once again, as you mentioned, it looks like they have a little bit more energy here coming out of the second half, and a lot of that leads to, you know, Ali scoring 6 straight points. You know, when you start scoring on the offensive side, that helps your defense because you got energy and you got belief.
Missed the shots.
So
Good box out.
Ali back in transition. This is the best, right now, been one of the best offenses. And look at that.
Don't leave her open for 3.
Great shot for Fort Bend.
Good look, a little long. We got a jump ball. It will stay down at this end again.
So, you know, Juliana Leach on a three-point is a shot that Fort Bend wants to see. They will take that again and again. It starts in defensive stop, into transition, and a transition 3, which Juliana Leach can hit that shot every day of the week.
Off the inbounds, Piper Francis stuck in the corner and loses it. Turnover again. Here comes Laskowski for the Hornets. Had Vanderway for a second there in the paint.
Almost got in trouble. Almost got in trouble. She dribbled all the way into the paint, picked up her dribble, and then turned her back to the basket. That's one thing as a point guard, that's a no-no, and almost led to a turnover, which eventually did as the player she passed it to traveled.
Eagles with another opportunity to cut into this lead. Oh, backdoor cut. Piper Francis, too strong. Wyman with the board. Another tie up, and it will go the other way.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I think it was a called play. It was a dribble at, and then Piper Francis back cut, and Juliana Leach hit it with a dime pass. And look, that's a shot again. Fort Bend, if they knock a couple of these layups down, they are right in this game.
Yeah, Charlotte Papillon has had quite a few possessions, point-blank range at the basket. Just shot it a little too hard over the rim. And if you go back and look at this film, she knocks a couple of those down. We're probably looking at a 1-2 possession ball game.
Yes.
Oh, beautiful find. That was Wyman underneath. She can't convert as well. A couple of nice plays drawn up there on each end, but neither team able to turn it into points. Molly Hunt will dribble it out. Here's Rodimer. And she rattles it in.
That's a big shot by Jade.
Huge shot.
She hit a 3 in the first quarter, had not heard from her since, but now she stems that flow where the Eagles had kind of made a little run here, and the lead is back up to 15. On the attack, the Eagles, Fort Bend, Piper Francis with the spin, and yeah, it looked like her feet shifted there. Didn't hold her pivot.
The idea was right for Piper Francis. I didn't see the footwork well enough as the official had the angle there, but the idea was that fake right looked a little Hakeem Olajuwon-ish, spin back left. And
now you're speaking my language.
You know, I liked where her head was at. Maybe the footwork wasn't quite there yet, but a beautiful idea.
I think I think body-wise she was good, but I think she switched her pivot when she went to spin around. And, you know, she's only a sophomore. She'll learn that.
Hunt plays through the contact and forces it in off the backboard. That's her 3rd point of the game, and now the lead is up to 17. So after that quick run by Fort Bend, the Hornets answer, and they add to that total. And we got a foul.
That's going to be a foul on Shea Vanderway.
So that's a dangerous play for a point guard, and I resonate as a point guard with what Soraya Webb did. You're feeling you're in the game, you're feeling it slip away, and you kind of want to take it into your own hands. And I did that at times as a player. And you drive in. Now, she got a foul there, but so often when I was a player, what would happen is I'd force a three-pointer, force a rim drive, and then what ends up happening is the team feels deflated because no one touches the ball, turnover, whatever. So in this case, great, big-time play. I would caution point guards watching, you're not going to come back in one possession.
Right.
Get the team involved. You climb. You got out of the game as a team. You got to climb back in as a team. And so it's just a dangerous play as a guard. I think as a lead guard to come up in a non-transition attack to do that kind of play.
And we've seen it this week a couple of times where guards would pass a wide open shot up for somebody else, and on the teams that are unselfish, it really kind of changes the whole dynamic on their team.
Defense has to shift. Your teammates touch the ball, and it's the way the game's played. We've seen it here already this game, corner shots instead of, contested rim drives. Another beautiful back cut. Rodimer's really nice on dropping those backdoor passes.
Yes, she is. Here comes Ali. Step back, sinks it, and on the follow-through gets the foul.
My goodness, Ali is a tough guard. Drive right, leave him left, and then step back for a jump shot. That's a very difficult move to guard.
That was, and knocked it down with ease.
So she's a sophomore. The national tournament's going to have to deal with her for 2 more years.
Yeah. Good luck.
Yeah, she's a player.
Team only had 11 points in the first half. She's got 8 already in this quarter.
That's what good players do, right? They come alive second half.
There you go. Perfect on that free throw. Going to take a little break. Maybe catch her breath for that final quarter as our team has trimmed the lead down to 12 now. Let's see if the Hornets have an answer for it. 1:16 to go.
So check this out. Fort Bend has gone to like a half-court trap. It looks like a diamond-and-one zone trap to me. I'm going to see what they fall back into. But defensive switch, I think a good call by Coach Lee, trying to give them a different look. Let's see how this plays out for him.
Oh, Cochran rolled across the front of the rim. Here comes Fort Bend.
I think Soraya Webb hurt herself on that drive a while ago. And Papillon, I don't think she realized she had the open layup because the play that normally run there is feed the backside cutter. And if she would have just looked up, she would have had an open layup. She 2 more dribbles to the paint.
She was right there. So, again, let's get a look at this zone trap that Fort Bend is in. It may be a 2-2, a 1-2-2 or a diamond-and-one. I'm not sure yet. But
oh, that's an answer. 3-point shot. Connection made that time by Dobie Cochran. Hadn't heard from her in a while. Her 5th point. Lead back up to 15 now. 22 seconds to go in this third. The winner will claim the 5A gold ball and move on to the girls' Final Four in 18U.
Yeah, so the last possession before that 3, Fort Bend had the ball, and they were able to cut it to 10 or possibly 9 with a 3 on that possession. Turned the ball over, ends up in a 3-point shot by West Michigan, and now we're down 15 instead of being down 9 or 10.
Yeah, big turnaround. Papillon there can't get it to go. On the opposite side, Piper Francis pulls it down, and she pulls the Hornet defender kind of on top of her. It ended up being an over the back, so they will maintain possession and bring it in with 10.6 to go.
They're going to send Ali back in for this last 10 seconds. she's been the hot hand here in the third quarter. She has 9 points.
Look at that screen and seal. Coaches teach that oftentimes it seems counterintuitive. The person setting the screen is actually the one that gets open.
Yep.
Piper Francis came across the lane for Ali. Ali cucks out. Of course, all the attention follows Ali because of the third quarter she's had, which Scott, you mentioned.
Yep.
And then who's left for the layup? Beautiful seal by Piper Francis, and now
Yep.
2 free throws. Good basketball.
Just a freshman. Misses the first.
Yeah, and
Get one more.
It's a good execution there for the big to come over, set that screen, and then spin to seal your defender. So, you know, you can teach that in practice, but when you get in game situations and the pain of a little crowd, a lot of kids get a little bit more nervous of doing the spin because they're like, oh, it's not going to be there. But if you execute it and run it correctly, you know, you're probably going to get a score out of it, which they ended up getting 1 free throw, but they got a foul out of it as well.
She sinks the second. Lead down to 14. 10 seconds left for the Hornets. Try to do something to end this quarter.
You can't go for the steal in that situation.
Bounce pass. Oh, short.
I could be wrong, but I think Fort Bend only has 4 players on the court right now.
They do.
Somehow they escaped.
They escaped with 4 on the floor.
Oh, well, we will end the third period with a 38-24 score. West Michigan Hornets in the lead. We've got 1 quarter left to fight for the girls 18U Division I 5A gold ball. Back with that action after this. Welcome back. Final quarter of action here. Girls 18U Division I 5A gold ball. The West Michigan Hornets 8 minutes away. A 14-point lead over Fort Bend Eagles. Eagles trying to make a comeback here in this second half. They trailed at 15 at the half. They got it as close as 12, but then a couple of answers by the Hornets, missed opportunities by the Eagles.
Yeah, but look, Scott, I've been impressed with the way Fort Bend's responded this second half. Like they didn't cower away being down going into halftime. They've actually battled, and you know this score has stayed pretty close this second half. Now, they're going to need some shots to fall to call back into this thing, but their effort, their energy, like you love it. That's what you want to see as an underdog.
Well, yeah, and they have to look. They won that quarter, so you know if they can continue that. Although a strong drive there by Leskowski, as she scores her 8th point of the game. And the Eagles with the ball lead up to 16 now. 7 minutes. Here's Ali for 3. Got it. Yasmin Ali. She has been lighting up the second half. 12 points since halftime. Lead back down to 13. Cochran with the ball for the Hornets. Boy, they've not had an answer for Ali. On the shot by Hunt. Papillon gets the foul.
That was a big-time effort. That's a tough. You hate to see that call. I mean, it was a foul, but like she was going for the shot block. The ball was in the air, and she was just a half step late. Yep. She gets there a touch earlier. That probably goes as a no call. And I don't know how they're calling this in high school now, but that circle in college and the pros is basically a no-charge circle. They might have let that thing slide. Close call, good effort, both sides.
Yep. First shot was good. Second is good as well. Molly Hunt with 5 points in this one. And the lead back up to 15, 6:41. Fort Bend going to need to do something now. They're going to start to run out of time.
Yeah, Yasmin Alley has done her part to try to wheel her team back, but you got to wonder if it's a little too late for her to get started.
Aubrey Ayers, once again, quick hands, able to tip the ball away, turned it into a steal, but hustling back to prevent her layup.
Soraya Webb.
Soraya Webb off the turnover, a really heady defensive play. Didn't foul, went right at the ball. It saved the bucket there.
On the inbounds, under their basket. Hornets holding on to that 15-point lead, trying to win the 5A gold ball. And they will advance to play the winner of the next game, which is the defending undisputed champion, San Marcos Panthers, against the Tyler Heat. So doesn't get any easier from here for sure. Laskowski just connected on one. There's Ayers again. She's worked so hard today. That time she gets the putback. Her 7th point of the game, and the lead now up to 17 with under 6 to go.
Yeah, and the loser of this game is going to play the loser of the next game. That's not going to be an easy feat either. Whether you play the winner or the loser, it's not going to matter. Both games going to be tough as Allie is unable to convert on that jump shot. It's one of the few times we said that here in the second half for Allie.
She's been solid. Ayers gets stuck under the basket. Good cutoff by Allie. Missed by Cochran. Here come the Eagles. 5:29 to go, down 17. And we got a whistle and a timeout. Going to talk things over and kind of set maybe the table for the next 5:26. And so, guys, if you are the Fort Bend coach, what's your plan now?
Your plan is to pressure the ball. He went to his own press in the third quarter, and then you've got to speed this thing up. You've got 5.5 minutes. We always try to set goals, right? Can you get this thing down to 10 by 3 minutes? And then from there, just keep pressuring, and then try to get open shots.
So when you played in college, Thomas, because you hear announcers say that, and of course they're always speculating, but is that a thing where your coaches will look at a deficit and say, next 3 minutes, let's cut it to this?
Oh, all the time.
Yeah.
And then you're looking at, so how do you do that? Well, it starts with ball pressure. You can't let them go 35 seconds on the shot clock. Or in this game, where there's no shot clock, you cannot let them start airing it out. The way you do it, you have to pressure the ball. So it starts with stops. Once you get the stop, you got to run in transition. So it pretty much is a game of stops and transition, stops and transition. You don't have the luxury of playing half-court basketball at this point in the game.
Yep, absolutely. And Jeremy, one thing that might come into play too, we saw yesterday, the Hornets are one of those teams that they don't ever seem to take the air out of the ball. They really just seem to like to go 100% of the time until the final buzzer. And so that could play against them if they're able to if the Eagles rather are able to get some turnovers there and get some opportunities, because they won't slow it down. We'll have to see what they decide to do today, but that's at least so far this tournament how they've played.
Right, and we saw that in the game before this with the Chisholm Crimson Knights, is they don't play either to air the ball out. They just play their style of basketball, and they never let up.
That time, Juliana Leach tried to drive and kind of threw up a shot. You'd like her to get her foot set on that. There's a three in the corner. Dovie Cochran, she's had a couple this game. And now the mountain gets taller. 47-27, under 5 to go.
And once again, a missed opportunity on the offensive side for Fort Bend led to an open three in the corner for West Michigan. And as you talked about, they don't let up, and there's another three.
Dovie Cochran, 3 in a row now. Their largest lead of the game.
So we was wondering if they were going to air it out or not, and I think they've answered that question for us. Is they push the tempo, and they're not even running much time off the clock. They see an open three, they're going to pull it.
Yeah.
No, and give West Michigan credit where it's due, right? They've played discipline from the start. They've continued to play disciplined basketball. And so now we talked on it earlier, the shots weren't going down in the first half. Well, now they are.
Yep.
The same discipline, and so these girls can shoot. Well, it's kind of a matter of time before they start hitting them. That's what's happening right now this past few minutes. So they've opened this lead up from we had it on to 8 or 9 earlier in the half, and now it's 23.
Yeah, and as you talked a while ago, as a coaching decision, what do you do in this situation when you're down? Is you got to break down the time and segments and be like, all right, in the next 2 minutes, guys, we need 2 stops, 2 scores, and then you just go 2 minutes at a time, 3 minutes at a time, whatever. You're never gonna change a game thinking of what's going to happen 5 minutes ahead of time. So
Right.
you got to think possession, break it down, execute when you have the offense, and then defensively you just got to lock down defensively and see if you can get some stops.
On the inbounds. Oh, nice move by Soraya. She can't get it to go, though. And the rebound comes off to West Michigan.
Now, the one thing that's been different these last few possessions offensively for Fort Bend is there's been no ball movement. They've came down, you've taken 3 shots, quick shots with no passes.
Yeah.
And they've really, all 3 have been 4 shots, either trying to draw a foul or whatever. And all 3 of them had ended up in empty possessions and turnovers. So you still got to stay within your offense and move the ball, keep everybody involved. And as you mentioned earlier in the broadcast, if you keep your teammates involved, they're going to help you later because they're going to keep moving.
Oh, nice move.
Yeah, good, great. What do you say about that? I mean, ideally as a coach, like what you're saying, Jeremy, you'd like to see a little bit more movement. Sometimes a player is so skilled, like what we just saw there, the footwork on that move. Good gracious, that's difficult to
She's like,
guard.
I got your movement.
Yeah.
Nice bucket there.
And what she did on that move is she gave a good hard head fake, like she was going to take the shot and got the defender off balance and then just spun off of her and had an easy layup uncontested.
We teach kids at our camps, the move is nothing without a sell, right? So every move has a sell. And what you got there was you got a left-hand finish, she bit, and then spun right back around. So the fake, the body, the eye movement, like she taught the sell so well, bit, and then it made everyone look bad because it's just wop, wop.
She also seems like she's got one of those second gears.
Yeah.
You know, when she knows when to turn it on, and man, when she hits that speed button, it's like afterburners.
Yeah.
But a lot of players you watch nowadays, when they think they give you a shot fake, they're really just bumping their head up, not even moving the ball. Well, that's not really a shot fake, and a good defender is not going to fall for that. But when you give a good shot fake, it should be a full-on, like you're going to shoot the ball.
They're selling the shot. That's right.
Soraya Webb comes all the way back to block that shot by Aubrey Ayers on the break. 50-29, 3:11 to go. Coming up next is going to be the girls 18U, another gold ball game, San Marcos Panthers against the Tyler Heat. The Panthers began their run for another undisputed yesterday, and they got tested. It was a close game in the fourth quarter, but then they're able to kind of pull away at the end.
Yeah, Oklahoma Flame took them to the wire. They had a really good game plan. There's not many games you're going to see Maddie Herta have 3 points at the end of the third quarter and Kendall Beck only have 6 in the same game. But that championship pedigree paid off late in the fourth quarter where they were able to extend it to about 6 and hold on for the win. But Oklahoma Flame definitely gave them everything they needed yesterday, and it may help them in today's game.
Saw it on the boys' side, too. MHEA's 18U boys going for 4 straight undisputeds. And, boy, they were tested all the way, tied in the fourth quarter. And they ended up walking away with a victory, but nothing easy. And I think MHEA already knows that. But San Marcos trying the first time for them to repeat. They're not going to get anybody's worst shot. You always get their best shot.
Yeah, if you look on the floor now, Fort Bend has all of his seniors on the floor. And let them finish out this goal ball game the last 3 minutes.
Second shot good by Ayers.
You know, we missed it heading into those free throws, but Jaden Rodimer again with another backdoor pass. And she's had 3 or 4 of them this game. This is really a pretty electric offense, and they start doing backdoor cuts like this. Difficult to guard.
Here's a bucket for Allie Lee. Her first 2 of the game.
She's one of the seniors, so happy to get her on the scorebooks and get in the scoring for this. You know, it's just going to be her last gold ball game to play in as a basketball player, because after this game, if they don't make a miraculous comeback here, they'll move to the Silver Ball Championship Series. And, you know, the loser of this game still takes home a silver ball. And the winner will take home a gold ball, and as you mentioned earlier, we'll move on to play the winner of the game that's coming up next between San Marcos and Tyler Heat. And I do believe that's going to be a good game as well. And any of these gold ball games, you're looking for good games. You're not looking for blowouts. They're supposed to be the top of the top and the cream of the crop.
Even though this game is a 20-point deficit, you wouldn't know it if you just walked in this gym. Fort Bend has fought from start to finish. We knew, and I think they knew, they were underdogs in this game.
Right.
The game broke open a little bit in the first half, but here in the second half, I believe it's only been a 5-point break, and a lot of that's been here in the last few minutes.
Yeah,
They've battled this second half. I would walk at it from Fort Bend Eagles, and man, hold your head up. Like, you played your hearts out. You competed. Yeah, you were a little overmatched this game, but you're young, you learn, and you move forward. So they have nothing to be disappointed or hang their heads about in this game.
Well, and you said young. Oh, another three. That time, another weapon. Morgan Foster gets into the books with her three. But just two seniors for Fort Bend Eagles, Emily Smith and also Christina Webb. And so when you look at that, and Allie Lee, three seniors. But you look big picture, we don't get to fast forward. But this time next year, what will this game mean to them? The experience of playing a really good team, playing for a gold ball, and maybe next year what looks like a loss here is going to turn into a victory because of what you experienced.
It doesn't take the sting off of it. There's no doubt.
Sure.
And I'm not trying to say that. It's just that, it's like you guys have the future's bright. And I would sit there. If you work, you're going to be back here.
Yep.
And I would, there's no telling. You may win this game by 15 next year against another opponent. Who knows? But you're close and you're playing hard.
Yep.
And keep your heads up. And then credit where it's due. West Michigan, they controlled tempo. They controlled this game from start to finish, and I believe it started with their defensive intensity, the way they just hammered down early in that first quarter, just closed that lane. It's suffocating.
Yeah.
And so they deserve to win this game.
Yeah, Fort Bend had many missed opportunities in the first half that they could have kept this game close and possibly made a run here in the second half. But the miscues, credit to the defense of West Michigan. And I think what happened was that I think they just rushed Fort Bend a little bit too much because of the defensive pressure. Sometimes as an offensive player, you get rushed a little too much and you start forcing things and you get out of your own rhythm, and then it doesn't help the team at all.
Wyman hit the first. Second one short. Fort Bend with the ball. So they will advance. They'll win the 5A gold ball, West Michigan Hornets. And then they will be watching this next game closely between San Marcos and Tyler, because that will be the path they'll have to take if they want to get deeper into this tournament and try to win an undisputed. Another steal, that time by the Hornets. Less than a minute to go. So if you're a Hornets fan too, it wasn't their most fluid game. Yesterday we saw what it looked like when their offense was just in a flow. But they also show you they have the ability and the depth to be able to play a game that's physical. When the shots aren't falling, they still have a lot of the pieces to be able to give trouble to any of the teams that are remaining here as they move forward. Fans behind, starting to see they got a gold ball ready.
Yeah, and one thing here, when you get to these gold ball games and championship series, a win's a win, however you can get it. An ugly win still counts as a W. And nobody's going to remember how you played in the game. They're just going to remember that you won the game.
That's right.
And you got a gold ball to prove it.
Say, this win is golden. West Michigan will take it. They gather the gold ball now in the 5A championship, and they will walk away with that. Congratulations to both teams, and thanks for joining us. Coming up next, it's going to be another girls 18U gold ball game. The San Marcos Panthers, undisputed national champs, trying to defend their title. But they got to win the gold ball first. They'll be taking on the Tyler Heat in a Texas showdown. We'll be back with that one after a timeout.